Activity number 1, the flow state. Have you ever been so focused on a task that the world disappeared? Maybe you were painting, coding, gardening, or fixing a car. Suddenly, 3 hours passed, but it felt like 10 minutes. Psychologists call this the flow state. But here is the neuroscience secret. When you enter flow, your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for self-judgment and worrying, temporarily shuts down. This is called transient hypofrontality. Why does this cure loneliness? Because to feel lonely, you need to be aware of the self. In flow, the self vanishes. You literally cannot feel lonely because you are not there. Only the activity exists. The brain releases a potent cocktail of norepinephrine, dopamine, and anandamide. So, how do you trigger this? You must choose a task that is slightly difficult, but matches your skill level. Passive activities like watching TV do not work. You must create. Draw, build, write, or solve a puzzle. Make this a daily ritual, and you give your brain a vacation from isolation. Activity number 2, parasocial connection. This might sound like cheating, but your brain cannot always tell the difference between reality and fiction. This is known as narrative transport. When you get deeply invested in a fictional character, whether in a book or a deep podcast, your brain simulates social connection. A study from the University at Buffalo found that reading satisfies the need for human belonging. It is called a parasocial relationship. When you read about a character's thoughts and feelings, your brain mirrors them. You are exercising your empathy muscles. This releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This is not about escaping reality. It is about keeping your social neural pathways active. So, instead of mindlessly scrolling social media, which increases envy and loneliness, pick up a fiction book or listen to a long-form biography. Let your brain connect with a human story. It creates a psychological safety net, reminding your subconscious that you are part of the human experience. Activity number 3, the helper's high. Loneliness makes us turn inward. We become hyper-focused on our own pain. The fastest way to break this cycle is to turn outward. This activity triggers the mesolimbic pathway in your brain. This is your reward system. When you help someone else, your brain releases a massive surge of dopamine and endorphins. Scientists call this the helper's high. It is impossible to feel isolated when you are being of service to another living being. You don't need to make a grand gesture. It can be micro-volunteering. Leave a genuinely encouraging comment on a stranger's video. Help a neighbor with groceries. Donate a small amount to a cause you care about. The moment you act altruistically, your brain registers social value. It tells your nervous system, I am useful to the tribe. I belong. This lowers cortisol, the stress hormone associated with loneliness. Try doing one small act of kindness today and watch how your mood physically shifts. Activity number 4, nostalgic reflection. For years, psychologists thought nostalgia was a bad thing. They thought it was just living in the past. But modern neuroscience has flipped this idea upside down. Studies show that deliberate nostalgia increases self-esteem. It dramatically boosts your perception of social support. When you recall a warm memory, your brain activates the hippocampus and the amygdala. It literally brings the emotions of that past connection into the present moment. Your brain feels the warmth of a loved one, even if they are not in the room. Here is how to use this as a tool. Do not just daydream. Make it active. Look through old physical photo albums. Or try gratitude journaling focused specifically on past relationships. Write down 3 memories where you felt truly understood. By focusing your attention on these moments, you strengthen the neural pathways of connection. You remind your brain that you are lovable and you have been loved. Activity number 5, synchronized movement. This is one of the most primal ways humans connect. Anthropologists believe we danced before we could speak. When humans move in time together, it creates behavioral synchrony. This blurs the psychological boundary between self and other. It releases a massive flood of endorphins. But you might be thinking, I am alone. How can I synchronize? The brain is easily tricked. You can take an online yoga class or a dance tutorial. Even if you are alone in your living room, following the movements of an instructor on screen works. Your mirror neurons fire as if you are in the room with them. It satisfies the brain's hunger for tribal movement. Try a 20-minute high-intensity workout video or a flow yoga session. Move your body in rhythm with another human. You will feel the isolation melt away as your heart rate rises. Activity number 6, metta meditation. This is the secret technique used by Tibetan monks for thousands of years. It is often called loving kindness meditation. Science has now caught up with this ancient wisdom. Research shows that just a few minutes of this practice stimulates the vagus nerve. This nerve connects your brain to your heart and gut. High vagal tone is associated with feelings of social connection and positive emotion. Here is how you do it. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and visualize a person you love. Silently repeat, "May you be happy. May you be safe." Then, extend that feeling to a stranger. Finally, extend it to the entire world. It sounds simple, but the effects are profound. One study showed that practicing this for just 7 minutes increased feelings of social connection, specifically in isolated individuals. It quiets the amygdala, the fear center of the brain. It turns your brain from a state of defense to a state of connection. Activity number 7, nature immersion. Sometimes we feel lonely because we are disconnected from life itself. This is the concept of biophilia. Humans evolved in nature, not in concrete boxes. Spending time in a forest, a park, or near water lowers cortisol levels immediately. When you are surrounded by trees, birds, and wind, your brain perceives life. You do not feel alone because the environment is alive. This is a phenomenon called interconnectedness. A walk in a green space reduces rumination. Rumination is that repetitive negative thinking that makes loneliness feel unbearable. Put down the phone. Go outside. Breathe fresh air. Let your sensory system engage with the natural world. Your brain will recognize that you are part of a larger ecosystem, the daily anti-loneliness protocol. Now let's combine these into a lifestyle. Knowledge is only potential power. Action is real power. Here is a simple routine to break the cycle of isolation starting tomorrow. In the morning, trigger your cortisol awakening response with a walk in nature, Activity 7. During your workday, block out 90 minutes for deep work to hit the flow state, Activity 1. In the evening, instead of Netflix, try a 20-minute home workout to trigger Synchrony, Activity 5. And before you sleep, do 5 minutes of metta meditation, Activity 6. This is not just a routine. This is a prescription for a healthier brain. The challenge. Loneliness is a signal, not a sentence. It is your brain telling you it needs nourishment. You now have the tools to provide that nourishment yourself. But I have a question for you. I want to know which of these activities resonates with you the most. Are you going to try the flow state? Or maybe the monk's meditation? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found value in this video, you will love this next one on the screen. It dives deeper into how to detox your dopamine receptors to find joy again. Click the video on the screen now. And remember, you are scientifically wired for connection, and it starts with yourself.